dishwasher to get cleaner. Everybody kind of spruced up before going in the dishwasher. Hi, how you doing? Okay. One last plate with some potatoes and tahini. And I think I can just kind of rinse off a little bit. How you doing, Norchata? How you doing, everybody? Danny? Okay, you have to go. All right. It's starting to get cold. I don't know what that means. For Chata, do you mean like the weather? Like the weather's finally getting cooler? I don't know. It's not getting cold here in California. At nighttime it's cold. It can be like maybe 39 degrees, but today it was like 73 degrees during the day. So it hasn't been cold here, but that's okay with me because I don't like the winter that much. I know we have to have it though. The mountains are really dry. The mountains are so dry. So we definitely need some rain because the only thing is, I guess we'll just see what the weather brings. But this seems like an abnormally dry winter because I do remember it raining a little bit more. In our area anyway. Other parts of the country I can't say, but it's pretty dry. Like, I know, like, there have been Christmases where it was warm out here in California, but yeah, it's been like super, just in my mind, like a little too warm for this time of year. Oh, and I still have the other plate I need to wash. Oh, I made this really good tomato soup that had like tahini, potato water from the potatoes, basil, chives, garlic salt, cayenne pepper. Like, I just used ingredients in a can of green beans. And a little bit of pasta. Because I just used up whatever I had. Because I'm not usually a fan of tomato soup, but I said I want to make my own version of tomato soup. So I did. And it was actually pretty good. I mean, I just don't think I'm ever going to be like the kind of person that wakes up each day and they're like, wow, I'm craving tomato soup. But it just sounded kind of interesting because I had these ingredients in my fridge. And I really don't like canned soup at all, but I love this little canned tomato soup I made because it was barely salty and it was just kind of sweet. I don't like salty things. Oh gosh, that happens here in California too. Like, remember the panorama and everybody was like stockpiling toilet paper and I thought it was a joke. And then when I heard everybody was going to the store, it's like, I don't want to go to the store because I know everybody and their brother is going to be there. So my sister, like back in March of 2020, before this all started, she went to like Ross, TJ Maxx, because we like to go to the stores, and she was shopping. She's like, it was dead. There was nobody there. It was like the Twilight Zone. And then she went to Stater Brothers and there was a line at the door and we were like, oh my God. So everybody bought up like the 18-month supply of toilet paper. Like, were they going to make toilet paper soup? So weird. I mean, I don't know. Just the things that people hoard up. And every time, like, here, it's the same kind of thing. Like, yeah, I get that there's storms and things, but I think people go a little bonky. Like, food hoarding's a thing, you know. Like, I was watching a video today where somebody was talking about, like, these older people that, like had just so much hoarded food that was expired that you couldn't eat because it had expired like 2 decades ago, and their house was just stock full of all this hoarded food. And they were elderly people in this church, and people knew about it, but they didn't like do anything to help them. They're just like, oh, they're good souls. But like, I think I'd want to help somebody like that if they were in a weird food hoarding. But you know, the whole food hoarding and the panic buying, this goes back to the Great Depression, because I feel like, I don't know, my grandpa wasn't like this, but I feel like this kind of behavior kind of influence people, maybe the baby boomers more, like their parents. Like they started seeing people buy a lot of things like in the 50s when food became like much more plentiful and you had a lot of disposable income. People just went a little off the rails, like just buying like this, that, and I think it's good to have some supplies, but I feel like people take it to a weird place. And I still question to this day, like, all that stuff that people bought for years ago. Remember, like, did they use all that stuff? Because every single store in America was like a rack. And I remember going to Food for Less. Like, I waited a week until all the mania surrounding it had ended to go shopping. And of course, there was no toilet paper, but people had taken flour. And we have so many little stores in our city. We have like more than usual, per usual. Like, the mountains got hit hard and heavy because people from... No, I mean, getting enough is fine, but this is just an example. Like, people from Orange County drove up to Lake Arrowhead, and they, like, bought out the one major store in town. And our stores, like, we have, like, I would say at least 15, like, grocery stores in a 9-mile radius. Like, that's quite a few little grocery stores. We have quite a few. And then I went to Food for Less, and there was like flowers strewn everywhere and produce like strewn all over the ground. And I was like, was that something that we needed to do if there was a pandemic? Like, we needed to make a mess and like rip up bags of flour and just go hog wild? And this is why anytime they're like, oh, you better hurry and go to the store. If I know that everybody's going somewhere, I'm like, I'll wait a few days. I might not find as much, but I'd rather do that than, I don't know. So yeah, have enough, but don't go bananas. Like, I just don't think you can eat toilet paper, you know? Eating toilet paper just doesn't seem possible. And I'm still wondering to this day, like, how many people have some weird stockpile of something or other that went bad during the you-know-whaty. It's just a thought. I don't know. I just feel like people do. I feel like there's some sort of weird stockpile somewhere of some kind of food that somebody didn't eat. It's just going bad. That's just kind of my 2 cents about it. But I don't know. People should do whatever makes you happy. I'm not like a hoarder or a minimalist. I'm just kind of like, there's no middle ground. Like, you're either, it's just like, it's either extreme minimalism or extreme hoarder time. And just like common sense, like, I don't know. Just use your own common sense, everybody. Like, we don't need to go to both ends of the spectrum. This is why I don't really like thrift stores either, just because I know like everybody's like, oh, thrifting, it's so thrifty, but it's actually kind of expensive nowadays. It's not even cheap. Like, a lot of the things in thrift stores are more expensive than regular stores. And I don't know, people just like, I feel like they're just buying too much, and then they're saying, oh, be a minimalist, but then they're saying, don't go to the regular store, go to the thrift store. Just buy what you need, friends. But what do I know? Like, if you want to spend all your money on something, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to come and be like, oh, no, don't do that, buddy. But, you know. Oh, I'm going to show you. I have a little bit left of some dishwashing detergent I got. I found it at, a while back. I think did I find it at Dee Dee's Discount? I think I might have. Which is the most random place. Yeah, Dee Dee's Discount. It's like a sale version. Well, you could do that too. Whatever works for you. So, Dee Dee's Discount is like a more discounted version of Ross. Like, they're sister companies. But anyway, I found like, I've had this since like May. It's like, I'm almost done with it because I always double up on it when I do run my dishwasher. But I don't run it every day. Like, Hi, how you doing? I run it every few days, so I still have a few tabs. And the weird thing is, I guess this was Polish dishwashing detergent, which is so random. I don't know how it ended up at Dee Dee's discount, but it's just the Finnish brand, the dishwashing detergent, and it's not bad. Although my sister had said it wasn't as good as the liquid kinds, but I have a workaround for that. So I take 2 tabs of this dishwashing detergent and I put them in the dishwasher, okay? Like there's 2 little areas where you can put them. So I put the 2 tabs in because I kind of like the liquid dishwashing detergent a little bit better, but this is my trick to make it a little bit more potent, and it just kind of clarifies your dishwasher. I just take vinegar and I fill each little spot up and it starts bubbling up. It's kind of fun to watch. It's like getting all bubbly. It's kind of nice actually. And then I close the lid and I'm gonna start my dishwasher. There we go. So I add just a little bit of, well, I like the dishwasher just because just gets it more cleansed. It's very sanitizing. And I just wash off all my dishes, stick them in the dishwasher. My oven is for storage, okay? Like, I've been using the air fryer more, and I use extra things in the oven for storage. Oven! Not dishwasher for me. So, yeah. Anyway. I think I want to add... Keep the camera away. It's nice to see. I do the camera wherever it is. Like, if it's propped up there, it's there. I put a little bit of vinegar in. I think I'm going to re-spin the laundry. Re-wash. Do another rinse. I decided to put a little bit of vinegar in with some of the washcloths too, just to give them. Yeah, I get it. A lot of people don't like their dishwasher. I guess I just really, really love my dishwasher. Like, I'm a big, like, super fan of it, just because, like, I rinse the dishes off and then I put them in there and it just, like, gets them very clean. Very, like, and then, yeah, and that way, if everything's rinsed off, it's just more like a, and one thing I really like about it is I have these racks with the air fryer that I, like, kind of scrub off. And then I put them in the dishwasher and it gets them, like, double cleansed. Like, I'm just really, really into cleaning. Like, I don't know, I like to clean a lot. I really love to clean. And I hate dirty houses. And hoarder time just gives me the PTSD like nothing else. Like, I guess that's why I was talking about, like, this whole hoarder thing, like, where, like, in my parents' generation, a lot of people started hoarding. I don't think it's good. And this is another reason I don't think you should be a minimalist. I think that can be another extreme. But, I don't know, like, we just talked about this, like, my sister and I, like, with my dad, like, we feel he kept just way too much stuff. Like, there's just too much stuff that he kept. I don't even know you though, Cashier, so, like, I'm very picky about who I hug. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but I'm super picky about that. But yeah, so I'm just thinking, like, in that boomer generation, I think they saw how their parents, like, there were people from the Great Depression that kind of did the hoarding thing, but it really, really was the boomers that I think just, like, really, they kind of took that to excess. And that's why now I kind of laugh when people talk about, oh, overconsumption and TikTok, and I'm like, have you seen a boomer's garage? Okay, so there's this guy, like, and I'm not trying to make this like generational warfare, because I don't like to do that. That's dumb. Okay, Okay, I don't know, the hoarding thing, it just gives me a little bit of PTSD because it's just too much. And it just reminds me of my dad. Like, he just can't let go of certain things. Like, there's things that I don't think he needed. Like, this company was getting rid of, like, these office chairs, okay? And they looked horrible because my dad was an electrician back in the 90s. Well, I mean, he was up until he retired. I don't know, 2018 or something. But anyway, the story of Philippe the Rocket Chair. He just thought these chairs were great because they were rolly chairs. And I'm like, they look thrashed up. They didn't look good. They did not look nice. He goes, oh, you could just put a cushion on. I'm like, no. This office was getting rid of these chairs for a reason. They look horrible. He's like, no, no, no. This is a good chair. So my sister and I just thought it'd be funny to roll. I don't know. Because we were like, he's such a hoarder. Like, he wants to keep everything. And we like rolled the chair down in the forest, and my mom like made me feel guilty about it. She's like, oh, you have to go get that special chair of his. And my sister said, oh, it's Philippe the Rocket Chair because, well, first off, she loved French and she was learning French back then, and she just thought it was funny that the chair went on a ride down the forest. So we went and got the chair, and she always called it. Well, it's just because, like, I'm thinking of people my dad's generation, just, they take it a little bit to an extreme. Like, I don't think you need, like, and there were some other things he kept that we've had to, like, kind of fight him on getting rid of, because these are just things that he's never going to use. So, I don't want people to be forced to be minimalist. Like, I'm not saying you have to be extreme minimalist, because that's kind of boring, but I just think like there's no balance, and I feel like if it's something that doesn't look good and it's kind of broken and somebody's getting rid of it, that doesn't mean that you need to adopt it and make it like literally your pet project. And him and I, we just had different, like, we had diametrically different views on objects and things. Like, I think he feels like objects bring him happiness. And I kind of just analyze this as being something of the boomers seeing their parents having struggled during the Great Depression and having like nothing. So in the 50s, when their parents were able to have like disposable income, and people born into the early 60s, like, it just seems so. Anyway, I don't know. It just seemed kind of, to me, not the best of things, but everybody's got different views on this stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching.